Hello everyone. So just now you people have written the Re-NEET examination and I hope that you people must have done good. So myself standing in front of you going to discuss the botany paper. Allen Career Institute, the South India division is going to discuss the botany paper. Okay. Now always keep in mind that whenever you are attending any discussion session, sit with a pen and paper, try to calculate your marks, because ultimately it will help you in analyze yourself, what went right, what went wrong, will definitely help you in deciding your future career options. So let's start with the paper, and before I start, one more thing I would like to add. In the entire paper, when you analyze, you will see that more class 11th has come as compared to class 12th. Not only that, there are certain questions which is going or crossing the little boundary of NCERT line. I will not say that it is completely out of NCERT, but it is touching that boundary line and trying to move little bit forward while making or while framing the question. NTA people have done a very great job in that regard. If you look at reason assertion, the entire biology, botany plus geology, you will find a lot of reason assertion as well as a statement based question, which must have consumed your time. Another thing, you can find a lot of numericals, a lot of calculations. Those calculations are basic calculations, those are not very difficult calculations. We have already discussed all those calculations in our classes, in our test series, in our paper. We have already discussed everything. Now let's get back to the paper and discuss one by one. Okay, I will be going not very fast, I will be going very slow. Okay, one request is there from my side, just try to look at the questions, what was your approach and how I am approaching the question. So let's begin with the paper. Symbiotic association between fungi and algae are called. See, what it is asking you, symbiotic association between fungi and algae. What does symbiotic association means? They both are going to be positively affected, none of them are going to be negatively affected. Now look at the options you have. If you look at the options, lichens is the answer, sponges, if you remember, animal kingdom, protozoa, porifera, you might have heard of the word. Mycorrhiza, these are basically the symbiotic association with the roots of the higher plant, and chrysophytes is altogether a different issue altogether. Okay. So the answer goes with lichens, it is a symbiotic association. Algae basically is primarily responsible for making the food, and fungi is giving the shelter as well as absorption of the nutrient from the soil. A straightforward, neat statement based question they have made. NCERT, the line is written over there. Cell theory was formulated by, answer goes with Shawn and Skleding. It is a very simple, straightforward question, repeated also multiple times in your NEET, not only NEET, when AI, PMT and AIMS used to be there, they have repeated from there also. Singer and Nicholson, you must have read about plasma membrane model. Robert Brown, you must have heard about something termed as nucleus. And Anthony von Leeuwenhoek, again related with microbiology. Try to find out what was the contribution of Leeuwenhoek. It's an open question for you people. Now, which of the following characteristics are of the prokaryotic cell? Now look at all the options. Prokaryotic cells, 50 plus 30 subunits of ribosome they have. Technically you must have read that prokaryotes contains 70s ribosome, whereas eukaryotic contains 80 plus ribosome, and ribosomes have got two subunits, one is larger subunit, another one is smaller subunit. This one is your 50s and this one is going to be your 30s. So this statement is correct. Another one, they have plasmids. Prokaryotes do contain plasmids. It can be F plasmid, R plasmid, Col plasmid. They contain mesosome. One of the classical example of mesosome you can remember is going to be your bacterial cell. Bacterial cell you people must have studied. This is again a prokaryotic cell. So the statement third also is correct. Now look at the fourth option, fourth statement, peroxisome. If you remember, peroxisomes are basically the membrane bound organelles. These are basically membrane bound organelle. And if you remember, prokaryotes always lack membrane bound organelles. We never use the word that prokaryotes lack organelles. We always use the word they lack membrane bound organelles. So this statement goes to be. Now you can find out the answer. So only one option is there, that is fourth one, A, B and C ruled out, and 3 are present. Another one, mitochondrial inner membrane encloses. Now look at the structure of mitochondria. So this is an outer membrane you have, then you have the inner membrane you have actually. I hope you remember the structure. This is outer membrane, this one is inner membrane, this is perimitochondrial space, and this one is termed as matrix. Now did you get the answer? I hope so. Or should I take the answer? Got it? See, aqueous humor doesn't arise, something related with eye. Mucus is basically a secretion from the cells of the epithelial lining, and cytosol, it is basically going to be the cytoplasm. So this is also ruled out. So by ruling out the options also you can answer the question. By the way, it's a straightforward simple question they are asking. Now next one, match list 1 with list 2. Good question it is. Look at the game which they are playing. They have given both Christie and Cisterna together, so that you might get confused. You will not be get confused, I know very well. Christie, if you go just one back, can you see this structure is the inner folding, which is termed as Christie. I hope, go back to this one. Christie, enfoldings of the plasma membrane. A2 ruled out, ruled out. I am going very slow, okay, don't worry, because I am explaining the paper, okay. Now A2 is gone, B4 also you can target. What is B4? Cisterna. Can you see two things are still left? One is flat membrane sac in stroma of chloroplast. Now look at the option. Phospholipid cannot be inside the stroma. What is the option you have? Thylakoid. This one, so it becomes C1 and D3, answer is 2. Got it? Now they can reverse the question also. They can put this side, they can put this side, anyway they can make in future also. Okay. It's an easy question. Overall this is an easy question. Next one. The plastid that stores xanthophyll is known as. Now you know that the xanthophyll is responsible for basically providing color. Storage, photosynthetic, color. You must have read about plastid is of 3 types, something like chloroplast, then you have got a storage storage plastids which stores protein or starch or lipid. Then you have third one which provides color to the plant part or to the leaf or to the flower. So this goes with which one? Chromoplast, which provides color. Now see, what they are trying to check here is whether you are able to eliminate or not. Whether you are able to eliminate or not. Suppose this would have been chlorophyll A, then your answer would have been chloroplast. Suppose storage granules is going to be starch, then your answer would have been amyloplast. If protein, proteinoplast or alluroplast would have been the answer. Fine enough? Next one. Photorespiration reaction catalyzed by Rubisco is shown below. So RUBP, ribulose bisphosphate goes for oxidation, it gives you 3 phosphoglycerate plus X. You have to identify X. If you remember, RUBP is basically a 5 carbon compound. If you are breaking it into a 3 carbon compound, so definitely X has to be a 2 carbon compound. Search the answer now. Phosphoenol pyruvate, it is part of your glycolysis and it's not a 2 carbon molecule. 2-phosphoglycolate, this is a 2 carbon molecule. Oxaloacetate, if you remember, it was combining with, in case of citric acid cycle, I hope you remember. Okay. So, citrate it was forming Krebs cycle, I hope you remember that part. It is a 4 carbon, and malate you must have read about malate aspartate shuttle pathway when you are studying the concept in case of your cellular respiration. So, this goes with your phosphoglycolate. So, if you calculate 3 plus 2 gives you 5, 5 it is balanced, and it is a very good question actually. What they have done is a very good question. Coming back to the next one, mad cow disease is caused by, see, a straightforward answer is your prions. Prions are basically the misfolded proteins which creates problem in our nervous system, and they causes disease such as mad cow disease or CJD, that is termed as Creutzfeldt-Jakob syndrome. These are the basic diseases caused by the prion, and these are proteinaceous infectious particles. Viroids, aspergillus causes aspergillosis, mycoplasma causes the disease of the plant. Okay. So, this is straightforward disease, and it also causes one disease, that is bovine spongiform encephalopathy. Bovine spongiform encephalopathy. Try to find out, is mad cow disease and bovine spongiform encephalopathy, is there a relation between both of them or not? Try to find out from the books. Okay. Next one, which pigment has absorption peak at 700 nanometer in the photosynthetic reaction center, that is PS1. Always keep one thing in your mind, without any exception, the reaction center is always made up of chlorophyll A. There is no other molecule which will make up the reaction center. That is why they are termed as a primary pigment. You must have read about primary and accessory. This is the primary pigment we call upon. So, answer goes with this. Xanthophyll, just now you have seen color, and chlorophyll B also plays a very prominent role, but it is not making the reaction center. There is no exception to this concept, whether you take up PS1 or PS2. It can be debatable why 700 and 680, that is a matter to be studied upon. Phyllotaxy is the arrangement of leaves, straightforward question. Okay, phyllotaxy is the arrangement. So, when you take the stem and when you study this one, I hope you remember something like alternate, opposite, world, all those things you study. So, the arrangement of leaf on a given stem is termed as phyllotaxy. We never study flower, fruit and sepals actually beta on the arrangement of the plant. There is a reason for it. Okay. Now, endomembrane system includes Golgi body, endoplasmic reticulum, lysosome, vacuole. See all the options you see. You know one fact very well, that chloroplast is never a part of endomembrane system. Never a part of. Chloroplast is an independent organelle, is a completely independent organelle. Answer goes with your endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi body, lysosomes and vacuoles. When you open your NCERT, cell biology, and when you are thorough, when you are going through the endomembrane system, when you open your NCERT, according to me, left hand side there is an entire paragraph which deals with this. That is endomembrane system and how the modification of protein takes place in the endomembrane system. Read that paragraph, it is an amazing paragraph. Next one. How many molecules of pyruvic acid are produced at the end of glycolysis from 206 molecules of glucose? See, Glucose, which is basically a 6 carbon compound, will break down by the process of glycolysis to give you pyruvic acid 2 molecule, 3 carbon, and this is 6 carbon 1 molecule. So 1 is giving you how many pyruvic acid? 2. How many you are asking? Simple, pure, simple, basic calculation. 206 into 2, because 1 molecule is giving you 2, it becomes 412. Simple calculation, nothing to be. Next one. Which of the following plant growth regulator is used as an herbicide? Again, I will say it is more of a memory based question. Okay, it is 2,4-D, 2,4-dichlorophenoxyester acid. It is basically a synthetic auxin. It is basically a synthetic auxin, and this basically kills the broadleaves weeds when they are sprinkled onto the ground, saving the entire nutrient to be taken over by the proper plant that is being planted by the farmers. So that is synthetic auxin. Again, I will repeat, 2,4-dichlorophenoxyester acid. It's written in NCERT, don't worry, it's a factual piece of information from there. Given below are the two statements. In gymnosperm, the male and female gametophyte remain within the sporangia. That is true. I hope you remember two words. One is termed as microsporangia and one is termed as your macrosporangia. Male part, male cone, female cone. Okay. In gymnosperm, seeds are not covered. True, because they are not going to have a fruit-like structure which is cover the seed. So answer is both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct. Got it? It's a good question. Next one. Match list 1 with list 2. Diagram is also there in your book. So it goes like this: a spherical rod, comma, and a spirillum. So spherical is cocci, ruled out. Comma shaped is vibrio, C1. One sec. So this is just one sec. So 2 and C1, answer goes with 4. See, I basically do you know how you should approach the question. Try to save the time. Don't try to match everything. From here also, the moment I saw the question, I got that at least if I am able to find out these two, A and C, I am able to get the answer. Which of the following are the characteristic feature of Solanaceae family? Now this Solanaceae family, if you see, it is written in your, only one family which is given in your NCERT is this family. Rest all the families are basically given in your practical books. So which of the following are the characteristic feature of Solanaceae family? Flowers are bisexual actinomorphic, correct. Calyx has 5 sepals and are united, true. 5 means pentamerous condition. Androecium has 5 stamens are an epipetalous. Ovary is inferior, wrong. Ovary is superior. This goes off. So which option you have? So this is the option you have. Now see what game they have played. They have given AB also and ABC also. So if you don't have an idea about the option number C, you will not be in a position to answer the question. Anyway, next one. Select the correct sequence of experiment that led to a gradual understanding of photosynthesis in green plant. See, if you look at this entire question, it is purely conceptual. Purely conceptual. There is nothing like it is written somewhere that this is a sequence of discovery or this is a sequence of a study. See, whenever you want to study any concept, it always goes from simplest discovery to the most complex approach in a particular experiment. It always goes from bottom to top, it never comes from top to bottom as far as discovery is concerned. So, when you look at this entire option, you cannot directly study the absorption spectra, this is not possible. You cannot directly study the release of oxygen, and you cannot directly study the formation of glucose, because these all are very complex process. Look at the option number 2. First you study the role of air. What is the role of the surrounding air in a particular experiment? So, air includes every possible gases, then you try to find out which major gases are produced or utilized. CO2 is going to be utilized, oxygen is going to be produced, because you are technically studying the photosynthesis. Then you try to study how the process, what was the process is going on. So, then you go for the next level, that is glucose. Now, the question is, CO2 has to be converted into glucose molecule. It requires hydrogen. Hydrogen can be obtained from water. For water you need the splitting. For splitting you require the energy. For energy you require the chlorophyll molecule. For chlorophyll you have to study the entire absorption spectra. Can you see from simple how complex the entire concept has gone? So, if anyone want to do it, it is easy to do, provided you know the concept that you always move from simplest possible approach to the most complex approach. Keep this in mind. It has come for this one. Same thing can be applied in your other part of your photosynthesis, respiration. Even it can be applied in case of the animal kingdom or in case of human physiology also. Fine enough? Next one. How many turns of Kelvin cycle are required for the formation of 3 molecules of glucose? Again, simple. See, glucose is C6H12O6. How many carbon are there? 6 carbon, and it is going to be produced from carbon dioxide molecule. So, you require how many? 6. So, 6 cycles are required to produce one glucose molecule. How many cycles are required? 6 cycles are required to produce. Try to recall the equation. Now, how many glucose they are asking? 3 molecules of glucose they are asking. That means 3 molecules of glucose means 3 molecule of this into 3. How many cycles are going to be there? 18. Simple. Another one now. Match list with list 2. See, if you look at the entire thing, for me one of the most amazing option is option E. Can you see? 1, 3, 4, 4. Which one is this? Order. Which is order? Sapindales. Closed. 1. But you can only do this when you are thorough with the table given in your NCERT when you open it, and it is on the left hand side of the paper and at the bottom. So, this is Sapindales. Now, rest of them you can see it is going to be correct. So, I am not going beyond this, I am leaving it for your acumen. Another one now. Arrange the following taxonomic categories in ascending order. So, you know kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. So, it is going to be ascending order, matlab from bottom to top it will go slowly. So, which one is the lowest one? Species, and which is the top one is going to be the kingdom. So, ascending, descending is downward, ascending is upward. So, the answer goes with your 1. Species, and what is at the top? Kingdom. So, this is 120 question. See, placentation, it's a pure factual piece of information. Okay, it is completely written in entire paragraph when you study the placentation. So, there is no other way to remember this. You have to remember exile, parietal, everything you have to remember by heart. You have to. Okay. Now let us go with this. So marginal is going to be your P. So A4, 3 are there. My formula is not working right now. Exile placentation is tomato. So this is ruled out. This is ruled out. This is still parietal placentation is going to be your Argemone mexicana. So C1 and D3. Now I always consider these questions little difficult. Do you know why? Because you have to remember. There is no other option you have. Okay. Anyway, 120, the option goes with 4. Now let us look at the second one. Sphenopsida class belongs to. The straightforward answer is Pteridophyta. Angiosperm, monocot, dicot, gymnosperm, if you remember, coniferales, cycadeals, all those examples are there. When you go to Bryophyta, algae, bryo, pterido, gymno, angio. Algae, bryo, pterido, gymno, angio. Try to trace all of them. Simple, Pteridophyta is the answer. Which of the following statements regarding photorespiration are correct? Look at the word, are correct. Do not occur in C3 plant, they occur. They do not occur in C4 plant. That is basically an advantage of C4 plant. So A is ruled out, C. Ruled out. Another one. CO2 is consumed and O2 is generated. Not at all. RUBP was broken down. Photorespiration, if you remember. It involves 3 organelles. So this is also ruled out. Phosphoglycolate is formed. No synthesis of ATP, C and D. Where is the option you have? The C and D. That is why you see now no synthesis of ATP and NADPH. So that is one of the drawback of photorespiration, that there is no formation of energy and there is no formation of hydrogen carrier or donor as well. Okay. Because it carries the hydrogen to the destination. Fine. Next one. A smooth endoplasmic reticulum, which you commonly call it as a SER. There is another endoplasmic reticulum which you call it as a rough endoplasmic reticulum. Why it is termed as rough endoplasmic reticulum? Because it has got ribosomes on the surface. But the question is in relation to a smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Has the ribosome attached with the surface? Ruled out. Is major site for synthesis of lipid? Let's take it as of now. Actively involved in the synthesis of protein, since they don't have ribosome, so this option is also gone. And it is a site for synthesis of carbohydrate. No, glycosylation is possible, but synthesis of carbohydrate is not there. Glycosylation is possible. So glycosylation is something different. So answer goes with your second one, is the major site for the synthesis of lipid. 123. Next one. Genus represent. Now look at this. Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species, or division. Now can you guess the answer? Genus contains related species. Got it? They have tried to put families, but it is not the group of closely related family. If you want to change this statement, it can go like this. Family includes many related genus. Family includes many related genus. That statement would have been correct, but they have written a vice versa statement. Next one now. Which of the following is not a prokaryote? Now try to remember the 5 kingdom classification, most accepted, 2 kingdom, 3 kingdom, 4 kingdom and 5 kingdom classification, most accepted theory. Bacteria, Mycoplasma and blue-green alga, they all belongs to prokaryotes, whereas fungi is your eukaryote. That is the basis of classification when you move from 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 system classification. Look at the word, not a prokaryote. Next one. Which of the following plant growth regulator promotes internode elongation prior to flowering in cabbage? Straightforward answer is this, gibberellin. There is no other way, you have to remember. It's a pure factual piece of information. Another one. The correct sequence of adult cell cycle phases is, you know that when you look at this cell cycle, G1, S and G2, and this one is M phase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. That is karyokinesis followed by cytokinesis. So, G1, S and M phase. Got it? It's a repeated question. I remember that it has been asked way back, it has been framed. Okay, way back it has been framed. Next one. Match list 1 with list 2, list 1, list 2, meiosis, plasmogamy, karyogamy. Now, fusion of protoplasm between the gametes, fusion of two nuclei is karyogamy, creation of haploid spores is meiosis, and this one is this. Straightforward. I hope you remember something termed as mitospores and meiospores. So, this goes like this, A is 2, A is 2, B is 3, B is 3, answer goes with this. Simple. Next one. Chromosomes are fully condensed at the end of prophase 1 and meiosis 1 resembles mitosis. In the light of the observed statement, choose the most appropriate answer from the options given below. Now, they have played with the word actually, you see here. Meiosis 1 resembles mitosis, not at all. Meiosis 1 is the perfect reduction division where chromosome number becomes half, that is 2n becomes n. And meiosis 1 is divided into 4 phases, prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1. Prophase 1 is divided into leptotene, zygotene, pachytene, diplotene and diakinesis. I hope you remember a very complex process where crossing over is going to take place, where exchange of the genetic segment is going to take place. It is not resemble the mitosis. That is a perfectly wrong statement. Now, look at the first one. Chromosomes are fully condensed at the end of prophase. Normally, what happens, beta? You are, or majority of us, what we think is that condensation is going to take place in metaphase. Fine enough. Chromosome is clearly visible in metaphase. Fine enough. But at the end of prophase, when it is going to move towards the metaphase, at the end of prophase, when it is going to move towards the prophase, it is going to be fully condensed at that stage. So, the statement is going to be correct. Check, many of you might have got this as a wrong, because the moment it comes condensed, we do not think anything, we directly jump to which one? Metaphase. It is a very tricky question, by the way. Next one. Length of the stem at time t is 20 centimeter. The arithmetic growth rate is 30 centimeter per day. What is the length of the stem at the end of the 7th day? Basic calculation. So, what it is saying that at time t 0, it is 20 centimeter. Fine. The rate of growth is what? Rate of growth is what? 30 centimeter per day. And at the end of 7th day, so at the end of 7th day, what will happen? 30 into 7, it becomes 210. What is the unit we are following? Centimeter. What was the initial, beta? This one. So, your T final sorry, will become T0 plus T 7th, so it becomes 20 plus 210 sorry 230 sorry centimeter. Is there any option? This is going to be 230 centimeter. 230 centimeter. Got it? Next one. Given below are the two statements. Statement 1, number 1 says Down syndrome is caused by the absence of one of the chromosome X. Think. Turner syndrome is caused by the presence of an additional copy of chromosome. Think again. What they are saying, beta? Absence. And what is the Turner they are saying? Presence. Exactly opposite. Exactly opposite. It is not absence, it is 2n plus 1 condition, and this one is 2n minus 1 condition. So, I hope where the statement is written both are incorrect, both are incorrect. Got it? Next one. Arrange the following in descending order of number of species in Amazonian rainforest. This is a graph given in your NCERT. And when I was teaching in the class, I told them that the graph can be, or the pie graph, or the any graph, chart, any bar graph, any can be, anything can be put into the word by the NTA people. And the same thing they have done here. Now you may say, sir, it is very difficult to remember. Fine enough. Look at the options. If you look at in all of them, there is no doubt that invertebrates number is going to be maximum. Protozoa, Porifera, Coelentata, Helminths, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata. Insecta itself or Arthropoda itself is so huge. If Arthropoda stands alone, they can say, my dear, I can handle the entire number, whoever is on the other side of the blackboard. That is the, what you can say, the number of the Arthropoda or Insecta. So, whereas, and here they are talking about invertebrate. So, even it includes Protozoa to Echinodermata. So, which is going to be the maximum? E. Where is, no, not E, E is minimum, actually D, where is D? And E is going to be this one. So, just by looking at, or the approach I told you, you can answer this question. No need to remember. If you remember, it is fine enough. But by this only you can approach. Yes. Mammals is anyway less as compared to, because see, after that they are saying plant. They are not saying algae, bryo, pterido, gymno, NG or anything within that dicot, monocot. They are not saying. They are including the entire plant, and it is quite huge, quite huge. Next one. Which of the following are primary consumer in a food chain? So, when you look at the food chain, you have primary producer, plant, autotrophs. Then you have primary consumer, or this is primary producer. Primary producer is going to be the green plant, which is able to carry out the process of photosynthesis. So, anything which is eating upon the plant are termed as herbivore. Is there any herbivore in it? Got it? After this, you will have secondary consumer, then tertiary consumer, and above this you are going to have carnivores. Okay. And you find parasitic is different little. Predators also you can include somewhere. Next one. A population of diploid organism is at Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. If the frequency of allele A is 0.1, then the frequency of double A is. I hope you remember Hardy-Weinberg law, which says that P plus Q, the whole square, is equals to P square plus 2PQ plus Q square. This is dominant one, this one is recessive one, and this is basically homozygous, homozygous, this is heterozygous condition. Now, what they are saying is this one. So, what is the value of P here is? Value of P here is 0.1. So, what will be P square, because P square is double A, so 0.1, the whole square, it becomes 0.01. Is there any option in it? Can you see any option in it? 0.01. So, this is, now this can be changed in multiple ways actually, okay. I hope it is clear whatever I have explained you till now. Let us move to the next one. How many theca are present in each lobe of typical bilobed angiosperm? So, you must have read about monothecus and bithecus. There is no example you have read where 6 and 12 and 8 is there. Either 2 or 1 or 4 you might have studied. This number you study in a very higher level in a very exceptional condition, okay. So, this is 2 straightforward typical bilobed. 153. Which of the following statement about lac operon is correct? Now, see this statement. When you look at the first option, it will immediately give you a feeling that it is out of NCERT. No, it is not. Teachers normally speak in class. In NL module it is written. In genetics we speak everything about this constitutive genes which keeps our body activated all the time. They are also termed as housekeeping genes. So, it is giving you a feeling that it is out of NCERT, not at all. In class we discuss, in LN module it is there. So, this is true. Now, this is correct. Again I am telling you, constitutive genes are normally termed as housekeeping genes. They keeps the entire activity of the cell always in a switch on mode, so that the body can function normally throughout the process. There are so many housekeeping genes in our body whose basic function is to keep our body functioning without any hiccups. Now, look at why 3 are incorrect. Even you can answer this from the 3 of them also. Lactose activates repressor to bind with the operator, not at all. Lactose will break down into by the galactosidases, and I hope you remember. IZYA share common promoter, not at all. If you remember, RPOS. In few books it is also written as P. You can go with it. There is ZYA. I is somewhat here. Are they same? Are they same? Not at all. Ruled out. Galactose act as an inducer for the lac operon? Not at all. The name itself is lac operon. How the galactose can be inducer? Ruled out, ruled out, ruled out. First one. So, those who know the concept very properly can eliminate these 3 and can go with the 4th one. Good question. Next one. Which of the following is female gametophyte of an angiosperm helps in the guiding the pollen tube for fertilization in egg? If you remember, sorry, this is going to be the embryo sac, this is going to be the egg cell, 2 are synergid, central cell, antipodal, polar nuclei. In this you are going to have filiform apparatus. Pollen tube will come, guided through synergids, will enter into the egg cell. Answer goes with your synergid. This also filiform apparatus. Next one. Which of the following plant produces non-albuminous seed? Factual piece P. Rest all are albuminous seed. Next one. If the diploid chromosomes number of typical angiosperm is 36, what would be the chromosome number in its endosperm? Look at this. What is the typical angiosperm ploidy level? 2n is how much they are saying? 36. What will be the value of n? 18. How you got 18? 36 by 2, you will get 18. Now, what is the ploidy of endosperm in case of angiosperm? So, when you look at the endosperm, its ploidy is 3n. So, it becomes 18 into 3. Is there any this number in this? 54. Next one. Consider a population of 10 million cells. Given the per capita birth rate is 0.002 per unit time and the per capita death rate of 0.002 per unit time. The expected number of cells after 10 generations. See, the beauty of the question, what they have done is birth rate and death rate is same. Will there be any increase in the population when birth rate and death rate both are same? So, there will not be any change in the population. So, what was the initial population? 10 million, 10 million. And do you know what they have given? Why have they given this? You may feel like I have to calculate something, but they are simply checking their IQ, that's all. Whether you are able to understand the logic or not. Suppose if birth rate would have been bigger, higher, and death would have been slower, then definitely you have to go for calculation and you have to add that number by which the population growth is taking place to the 10 million. But they don't want that you waste your time. They simply wanted to check your understanding of the concept. Next one. Given below are the two statements. Another well-led reason. Look at this. The logistic growth model of population is considered more realistic than the exponential growth model. What is logistic growth? If you remember, where I shall draw. So, if you remember the logistic growth, it says that it goes in a S-shaped curve. And when you go for the exponential growth, it goes like this, J-shaped curve. This one is your sigmoid, this one is your J-shaped curve. Now, technically this is not possible. The nature or the environment cannot sustain that particular growth. Now, what could be the reason that why this is becoming parallel to x-axis? Why it is possible? Why it is that it is becoming parallel to x-axis? Because this is x and this is y. Why? Because after a certain period of time, the population will try to stabilize according to the available resources. For example, suppose the entire resources of India can sustain, let us say, 200 or let us say 2 billion population. Right now we are 1.4, 1.5. Suppose if you want to cross that 2 billion population, do you know what will happen? There will be scarcity of food, there will be scarcity of resources, ultimately our population will keep on going down. Or either the prices of the product will keep on rising, because demand is high and the supply is very less, but nature balances in itself. So, this becomes parallel to this. Why? Because resources are always finite. That is why you will get this particular shape of curve, that is sigmoid. For J-shaped, what will happen? The resources has to be infinite, which is technically not at all possible. Earth has a limited resource. You can take any form of resources. So, this is correct and this is the correct explanation. Which option is that? First one. Fine enough. Next one. Which of the following enzyme synthesizes the precursor mRNA? What is precursor to mRNA? That is your hnRNA, which will undergo capping, tailing, then splicing and everything, and answer goes with your RNA polymerase 2. Sorry. Next one. Given below are two statements, plasmids are autonomously replicating DNA. True. And plasmids are extra chromosomal DNA. True. Both statements are correct. I hope you remember bacterial cell. Along with the nucleoid the bacteria has, it also contains plasmid. Plasmid you must have studied in biotechnology also, that it has got origin of replication, it has got multiple palindromes, it where the endonucleases can cut at a specific site, plus they also has got many resistant, antibiotic resistant genes. So, they are independent of the nucleoid or the parental chromosome of the bacterial cell. Fine enough? So, is correct 168. Now, for a person with blood group O, which of the following is not possible combination of parent blood group genotype? See, what they have done is they have gone in a reverse manner. In the NEET, this is a Re-NEET. Before this, they asked what is the blood group. Now they are giving you the blood group of the kid and they are asking what could be the probable genotype. Look at this. Forget about anything. I am just telling you. A person with blood group O. So the person is going to have blood group O. For blood group O, what is required? I am using the same notation, that is small I, small I. So there is going to be a father and there is going to be a mother. Now, go for back calculation. So, one will come from here, mother, and one will come from here. Now, this position can be occupied by any. So, that means father and mother at least should have one allele, that is small I, otherwise the child or the next progeny cannot be the O blood group. Look at this. This position anything can be there. It can be IA, IB. Here also it can be IA, IB. Is there anything where this condition is not fulfilled? Fulfilled, fulfilled, fulfilled. Look at this condition. If this would have been there, then either A will come or either B will come. So, this will not remain as O blood group. If A comes, IA comes here, it will become A blood group. If IB comes, it becomes B blood group. So, gone. Next one. Given below are the two statements. One is labeled reason assertion. Again, example from NCERT. Abingdon tortoise in Galapagos Islands became extinct within a decade after goats were introduced. So, goats were very highly grazing animals, and you know tortoises are very lazy. Their metabolism is very slow and they are lazy animals. They will eat the grass very slowly. So, what happened? In an area when you have introduced the goat, goats have got higher grazing capacity, higher grazing rate. What will happen? The rate at which they will eat the grass will far supersede the rate at which the tortoise is eating the grass. So, what will happen? Competitively, they are going to eliminate the tortoise over a period of time. Look at the assertion. Assertion's reason, look at it. Goats were more efficient at browsing than the Abingdon tortoise. So, answer goes with your first one. Okay. And that later on they realize that it's a mistake they have done. They tried to recover the Galapagos Island Abingdon tortoise over there. So, it comes, match the following, both species are harmed, one species is harmed, other is benefited, both species are benefited, one is benefited with other does not have any. Now, both species are harmed, competition A3, gone, gone. Look at the another one. One species is harmed, other is benefited. Mutualism is not that condition, commensalism is not that condition. What option you have? Predator. Predator one is basically going to eat the entire organism, completely harmed. So, B1, B1, this is also ruled out. Even I am not checking the third and fourth. C2, let us check, C2. Mutualism, both are benefited, plus, plus. And this one is benefited, plus 0 concept. And this one is minus, minus concept, that is competition. Another one. Given below are the two statement, reason assertion. In an experiment, Mendel observed that F1 progeny plants are all tall and none are dwarf. Which one they are talking about? They are talking about F1 progeny. Fine. Why it is going to be there? Because in F1 generation, if you remember, capital T, small t is coming in F1 generation. A small t is not able to explain, or sorry, express itself, or if it's expressing, it is not going to be seen. Capital T is going to express and the entire plant becomes tall. So, that is why you say one is dominant and one is recessive. Stem height is a contrasting trait with tall being dominant and dwarf being recessive. That is why the plant remains tall and none are dwarf. So, answer is going to be both are correct and reason is the correct explanation of A, which reoccurs when you go for the F2 generation. From there only the concept of dominant and recessiveness comes out. Which of the following statements are correct? Energy flow from producers to consumer is unidirectional. So, let us make one small pyramid of energy. So, this is going to be pyramid of energy. Is unidirectional, correct? Energy flow is always unidirectional. Energy pyramid can never be inverted, true. There are three pyramids: pyramid of energy, pyramid of number, pyramid of biomass. Energy can never be inverted, whereas biomass as well as the number can be inverted. Tree you can think of. Transfer of energy follows the 1% law, not at all. It follows 10% law. So, C is ruled out, ruled out, ruled out, ruled out, A and B. That was the entire paper discussion with you. Just try to find out what was your positive side, what was your negative side, calculate your marks and see what is your status. All the best for your future. Thank you.